Steve's Makerspace. Hello, Steve from Steve's Makerspace here. Thank you for joining me in this special video about how I make videos. If you didn't see the last video, the last video was about everything that comes before I actually make a video. So I talked about branding and other things that you want to think about before you get to actually making a video. It's not necessary to watch the previous video in order to watch this video. So this video, step by step, we're going to actually make a video, a really short one, and I'll show you my thinking process and exactly how I do it. I'm going to be using OBS and also Camtasia. This isn't a tutorial on OBS and Camtasia, but that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to be showing you the overall process. So this is more for somebody who's brand new to YouTube, thinking about doing it or just getting started, just to see the overall process of how I do things. And also, if you're curious about how I make my videos in particular, I thought this would be interesting for you. Now I'm going to jump on my iPhone for a couple of segments, and then we'll come back to this spot. So the first step is taking a shower, because nobody wants to see Deadhead Steve. And the second step is getting your bird out of the room, because when you start talking, bird thinks it's chatty chat time and gets really loud. Okay, now I've got the green screen up like that. I've got a light there, light there, light there. I'm going to have my tissue box here with the microphone up like so. So I'm going to, this is my OBS. I'm going to cover this part up because it's kind of distracting. I'm going to start recording and then I'll stop after a few seconds, and I want to make sure that my Samson Go mic is getting picked up. I'm going to check my video. Let's switch to full screen face cam and just make sure that's being captured. Sometimes I do a little bit of color correction. So then I'll do a very short recording of like 5 seconds and just say testing 1 2 3, and then I'll stop that recording and play it just to listen to it and make sure that my levels are correct before I go ahead and do, you know, half an hour of recording. Also, before I record, I make sure that any unnecessary programs are turned off, because running a game and also recording at the same time takes up a lot of processing power and memory. So I want to make sure that I get good frames. So I'm ready to record, and now I'm going to go into a game. Okay, so Hugo submitted to me Rocket League challenge that he made. The video that I'm going to make is me checking out this challenge. So first step is recording some footage. Oh, I see. It's a 2-player game. Well, let's see if I can just do it with one. Let's see if we can hit the ball. Oh, okay, and I'm riding the wall. Very good. Yay! I scored a goal. Hugo, nice game. My fault. I'm terrible. Alrighty, I think I've recorded enough footage, so we're going to stop this. I'm going to remux these recordings, which I don't know what that means, but it changes it into an MP4 so I can import it into Camtasia. Okay, so I'm opening up Camtasia. I've got a new project. I'm going to get my videos that I just made and import them all. Okay, so I just pulled them into Camtasia. So now I'm going to, let's see, let's get everything on the track, select all media on the track, and I usually just increase the gain because for some reason, when I record in OBS and then bring it into Camtasia, it's not as loud as it could be. And you can see here the audio is showing, and I can see how far up the audio is going. I do this increase before I do any editing. Next, I need to just make sure that things are in their proper order, so I might need to rearrange these. Okay, so besides the game footage, I'm going to need an intro and an outro for my video. Sometimes I do the intro and the outro after I do all of my editing, because sometimes I'm not really sure where the video is going to go, and I like to have the intro done afterwards. And sometimes I do the intro before I do any of the game footage, especially if I'm doing, say, a collaboration. I might do the intro right as my partner is coming online. Okay, so let me do the intro and the outro. Okay, so I brought in the intro and outro video piece. I'm increasing the gain on that. Oh, something else I forgot to mention is, because I'm listening in the background, but the reason I did this video, I can hear the scrap mechanic game going full blast. I probably should have turned down the scrap mechanic game. When I record the videos, I usually tweak the game volume. I'm also going to turn off the game music because when I do the editing, the game music is just going to wind up being choppy. If I'm doing a collaboration, I use Discord chat call to talk to my collaborators. There isn't a way just using OBS to split out different audio inputs, unfortunately, but there are additional applications you can get. I think you have to get 2 of them installed. I don't have those, but that would allow me to control the audio inputs going into OBS. So I can take this track and just kind of hide it for a little while I deal with this piece here. And I'm going to want to split out the outro from the intro. I can see where I stopped talking and where I started talking, so that's a good place to just start the split. And I'll use this little thing to split. Okay, that's going to do it for this. Yeah, that's definitely my outro. I can do this minus in order to see the entire timeline. I'll turn that back on, move this over here. Now let's go ahead and highlight both of these, move that, move this over here. So now I've got my intro and my outro. Actually, I'm going to put that on, all of this on track 2, because I have an intro video that I'm going to put on track 1. So here's my intro, and I'll just pull that over here. Okay, let me get my intro sorted so I can expand this so I can see with fine grain what I'm doing. And I know I'm not going to need this, so I can do a ripple delete like so. Listen to it. Hi everybody, Steve from Steve's Maker. Okay, so you can see I've got a little bit that I need to edit of another video. Lost my place. I made a video on how I make videos, and so this video is the same. Yeah, this is good stuff. What is this? Is it more? Okay, but let's get into it and see this Rocket League challenge. But let's get into it and see this Rocket League game. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. Let me just see this, if this intro is complete or doesn't repeat itself. Hi everybody, Steve from Steve's Makerspace. Okay, intro is figured out. Now let's work on the actual game. Now I'm going to be finding the best footage. I want to show things that are interesting, funny, nice comments, interesting action. If I make mistakes, I want to show like examples of me making mistakes. I don't want to show every mistake I make because that would be boring, I think. So I can look here, like from here to here, I didn't say anything, so that's probably safe to just go here to the next time I say something and cut this. So this process of editing, cutting stuff, and cutting stuff and cutting stuff, listening to stuff, cutting stuff, listening, cutting, that takes most of my time in editing my videos. And then there's some other things that I'm going to show you next that don't take quite as much time. So I'm going to find a little snippet of video to move to the front of the video as a little sneak peek of what's happening in the video. Okay, I found a little snippet to copy. So I'll put that in the front. Then my intro goes right up. You can see it snaps too, which is nice. Now I'm going to select all of this. Come back over here, expand, and let's see, I want this to start right about here so that when my music is going down, I start talking. So we can listen to that. Oh, and this intro, when I bring it in, I have to scale it up a little bit for some reason. There we go. So, hi everybody, Steve from Steve's Makers. That seems good. So I got my snippet. Let's take a look at some of the other features I could add. I don't know if I'm going to add them or not. So there's annotations. So maybe I could add an annotation that's like, boy, I'm really bad at this, or something. How about that? So I successfully scored a goal here with, nobody actually playing against me. I think I'll add something like, good job, Gramps. How about that? Yeah. All right, right there. Good job, Gramps. Hey, I scored a goal. Okay, that's long enough, I think. Okay, and you can see I can just I can make this as long or short as I want. So the other thing, so annotations, that's pretty easy. Transitions. So there's a fade to black. I don't usually use that, but if I were, you could drag that down like this, and then in between scenes, it would go like this. Watch. Whoa. There we go. A fade through black is good if you're doing something cinematographic, telling a nice story. Yeah, I don't usually use any transitions. Most YouTubers don't. Animation. Okay, so this I will sometimes use if I want to highlight something, especially if I'm doing sort of a how-to video. Okay, here's the ball spawner. Let me see how long did I spend on that. See? Okay, so I want to highlight this, so I'm gonna just do this and this, and now I can actually see the ball spawner way up in the ceiling. Now here we're going back, so I can hit scale to fit, and now if we watch the whole thing, did it come from the ceiling? It must have come from the ceiling. Let's see. That must be a ball spawner up there, and it just falls down. Very good. There we go. I noticed when I did this, did it come from the ceiling? It must have come from the ceiling. It gets rid of my face cam. So if I want to keep my face cam, here's a trick for that. I want to copy, paste. Now I'm going to get rid of this. I'll crop to my face. And now this is really two parts. I've got the face cam separate from this part down here. And so now if I play it, did it come from the ceiling? It must have come from the ceiling. Let's see. That must be a ball spawner up there, and it just falls down. So there you go. Now my face stays where it is. let me put my logo at the very end. And I'm going to make that small. Oops, I'm still on crop. Let me see. Edit, undo. Okay, change that to that. Make that kind of small, put it up at the top. And then I'm going to make this 20 seconds long because I'm going to want an end screen here. There we go. So this is where suggested videos are going to appear, here and here. I also do my little Steve's Makerspace thing, and I usually do those, yeah, voice narration. I want to make sure my mic is going to my Samson Go mic. So I'll do start voice, now recording, Steve's Makerspace. I didn't like that. Let me try it again. Steve's Makerspace. All right, let's listen to that. Steve's Makerspace. All right, that'll work. Okay, so that's voice narration. So I can use voice narration. Maybe I speed up part of the video and I want to do an overlay my voice saying what I'm doing, or sometimes I'll do some game footage without doing a face cam at all, or recording my voice at all. I'll do all the editing and then I'll come back and do voice narration as if I were playing the game, but I'm really not playing the game. I'm just pretending to play the game. Visual effects. So this is where I can do clip speed, where if I want to speed up part of this, I can do speed, we'll do 2 times, and now I've just sped up everything. And I can turn the voice down if I don't want to hear my Minnie Mouse voice. I can also, let me try 0.5. So I can do slow motion. So I want to show like me scoring a goal and do an instant replay in slow motion. I can do that. Right, so I got to get some music in here. I've got my music Word document and my music over here that I've downloaded from YouTube. I talked a little bit about that in the last video. Here's Club by Andrew Huang, happy club music. Let me listen to that real quick. That sounds like a good tune for, let's listen a little farther in. Yeah, I think that will work fine. So I'm going to just pull that in like so. Let me minimize that. Usually I just have this on 2 different screens. I'm trying to do it all on one screen so you can see what I'm doing. So this is going to be after my intro, right here. And then I have a little bit more to add. Okay, I found this one, Invisible by Vibe Tracks. I think that sounds good. I'll add that in. Alright, so I'm pulling from my folder, bringing it over, and put it right up against there. Okay, so here's where I need to do the fade out. So as soon as my intro starts, let's see, yeah, intro starts, I'm going to want that to stop, although I might, let me see how this starts. I might want to fade into this later on. Go! Yeah, because that takes a little time to get going. Jeez. Okay. It's a good thing I don't have another player here, because yeah, I think I want that starting around here, fade in. So let me cut that. Ripple delete. We'll do a fade in. Then at the beginning of my intro, I'll cut it again, get rid of that, and we do a fade out. So now if I do like this, we'll listen to that. Let's try this. Okay, and then over here, listen to the fade out. Now I'm going to turn this down. It's brilliant. I like it. Nice job. Okay, so now I got to turn these down. So what I can do is just highlight, select all media on track, go to my gain up here, and bring that down to about 15 or 20%. And then see how that sounds at different spots. I can't just check it in one spot because the music, different instruments will come online, and then you might not be able to hear my voice over like a high-pitched instrument. Thrust. 3. So the music is usually the last thing I add. Now I think it's time to render. So rendering, it's taking all these different parts and fitting them together, stitching them together into one MP4, right? So then I can upload it to YouTube. So I'm going to do, let me save first. I haven't done one save on this. Let me save it real quick. All right, share local file, MP4. I don't need a controller. I checked my video settings to make sure they're good, at least 74% and 30 frame rate, yes. Next. Okay, so now I'm gonna pause this video while I render it. So this might take 3 minutes, might take 10 minutes, I'm not really sure. It depends on how many pieces I've got, how many edits, how many sources that I've got and tracks. How long it's going to take. Sometimes it can take half an hour to render a 20-minute video. It just depends. Okay, video is done rendering, and now I've got it 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to watch it all the way through and listen and see if it seems like a good video, and this is an opportunity for me to check and see if there are any changes I want to make before I upload it to YouTube. So I'm going to do that right now. I value people's time when they're watching my videos, so I want to make every second worth watching. And it's also, you know, I don't want people to click away. I want people to watch as long as possible. So it's important not to have a bunch of boring stuff. So as I'm reviewing, that's a chance for me to cut further, to cut out anything that I think gets boring. I might have 90 minutes of game footage that I cut down to 15 minutes. Rest of it looks good, so I'm going to re-render it now. Okay, I'm happy with the second rendering, so I'm going to start uploading the video. So I'm going to drag right here. So while that's uploading on YouTube, I need to work on a thumbnail. So I've scanned through my video trying to find a frame that seems appropriate. So I think this is the frame I'd like to use. Sometimes I'll export a few of them. Usually I create a thumbnail folder for it. What do I just want to say? Rocket League. I think I'm not going to go through my whole process for creating a thumbnail right now. I've learned recently that Canva online is a good way to make a thumbnail. So you might try looking on YouTube for how to make a thumbnail, maybe how to make a thumbnail Canva. But let me just make the thumbnail and then I'll show it to you. Okay, here is the thumbnail I came up with. It looks, let's see. So let me upload that to YouTube and see what that looks like. So I'm gonna go, okay, I've uploaded that. I'm not sure if that's gonna show up badly. That might not work. Okay, I made a change. It's a little bit better. I'm still a little worried about it, but I think it's readable. Anyway, that'll have to do. Okay, so let's review some of the other things I've added. Rocket League, but in Scrap Mechanic. In this Scrap Mechanic video, I check out Hugo's Rocket League Challenge Mode game. Hugo's Rocket League Challenge Mode, there's a link to his Steam build. Join my Discord, follow me on Twitter. Music, there's my theme music, and then the other 2 pieces of music that I added, credited here by Scrap Mechanic here. Next, I go to add end screen, create the best reviewer is usually one that I have. I bring that down here and size it up. Oh, actually, let's preview it first. And now, Steve's Makerspace. There you go. Okay, and then we save that. And then the next is visibility. This is where I can choose when to publish it. Usually, rather than scheduling it, I like to publish it by pressing the button. I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to post something to Reddit, the Scrap Mechanic channel. I'm going to post this to my Discord. I'm also going to Twitter. I don't always post on Twitter. It's usually not awesome to just post your video on Twitter in its entirety. What I do sometimes is I'll do another little short 30-second or even 15-second video, sort of a highlight of my video, and I'll post that to Twitter with a link to the full video. As to when to publish, right now I'm recording this on a Saturday night. I'm definitely not going to publish it right now. Probably Tuesday afternoon, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when people are starting to get off of school and off of work, so that I have the best chance of people watching it right when it comes out. And after that, it's just watching for comments and reacting to people's comments. So that's the entire process. I think I remembered everything that I wanted to share with you. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, post them in the comments section. If you're a YouTuber and you have some other thoughts to share on how you make videos that might be differently than what I do, please post those as well. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I should be hitting 500 subscribers any day now. Probably already have by the time this video is released. So I'll be working on a 500 sub video. I think that's something to celebrate. Thank you very much to all my subscribers, to you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. You've been watching Steve's Makerspace.